Okay, so we have onomatopoeia, paraphrasing. And what was the second one? What was the second trick that we learned about that authors used to spice up their writing? Faith, you got it? Okay. Could someone remember? Kayla, do you remember?
They use like what's it called? Onomatopoeias. What's it called?
Okay.
I know this one.
Want to call someone else and to help you out?
Yes, Aaron.
Oh, personification.
Personification. So can someone raise their hand and remind me what an onomatopoeia is? Okay, Brene. Okay, so we're getting examples. So splash, shout, absolutely. Can someone tell me what those words actually are? What is an onomatopoeia? What's the definition for that word? Yes or no? It's a word that makes the sound. Absolutely, a word that sounds like the word that it describes. Okay? Got that? And can someone tell me what personification is? What does that look like? Yeah, Paris?
Personification is when you give an object human characteristics. For example, the trees are dancing. The leaves are dancing in the wind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we just heard Paris say is you give a non-human object human characteristics. And her example was the leaves are dancing in the wind, okay? That was a perfect example. So today we're going to try to figure out how we can use line length and rhythm in a poem. Okay, so these are two different things. Now at the top of your paper, guys, I passed out some guided notes for us today because I think this will help us really follow along in class. Okay, so that's something that we're going to try today, so I need you to really stay with me, and I'll try to clue you in when you can use these. But if you want to write this at the top, the objective for the day, identify and analyze line length and rhythm in a poem. Write it please at the top of your guided notes. If you have questions, raise your hand. Yeah. Okay, so I should see everyone writing this objective at the top of the paper. Write your objective at the top of that guided notes worksheet that you see there. Identify and analyze line length in a poem. Okay, I'll give us about 30 more seconds to finish that up. Okay, to begin with you guys and give you an example of this, I'm going to read you a poem and I need you to listen very carefully, okay? Finishing writing that down? It's called We Real Cool, and it's by Gwendolyn Brooks. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing thin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die soon. Okay, so the poem is called We Real Cool. And now can someone just tell me what, for 1 minute, I want to give you guys 1 minute to just jot down something that you thought about when you heard that poem. Think about how I read it out loud. Think of what words I put emphasis on. Okay? Just write it somewhere. You can write it on the back of your paper, on the corner of the paper. Okay? What's going on? Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to write some reactions that you have thought to the poem. Think about how I read it out loud, what words I stopped at or put emphasis on. Okay? I'm going to call on anyone in the room today as well, just like yesterday. So everyone should be ready with an answer if I call on you, okay?
Yes. Okay.
10 more seconds. Jot down a note.
My pencil.
Ashley, what do you got?
The way that the poem is not too angry,
It's like they're angry.
and the word you stop, like instead of long, was jazz.
Was what?
Jazz.
Was jazz. That one has an emphasis on it. Jamani, what did you think? That the person was mad again? That the person was mad? Yeah.
That the person was like angry or frustrated.
Okay. Who can tell me a little bit maybe about the words that were emphasized or the words that they thought of? Aaron, what do you got?
That they're like free, like
That they were freed.
and kind of like messy. Like they're like they're ready to die.
Okay.
Or,
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph, what do you got for us?
When you said you put emphasis on die soon,
On die soon.
yeah, like
Okay.
it's like it's like you went like so you went deeper to die soon. And
Yeah, there was emphasis on that, wasn't there? Paris, yeah. Okay.
Why? Okay, at the end, it sounds, like at the beginning, it sounds like, oh, she's like so cool, like she's the bad, like her and her friends were like the bad people, but then why does she put at the end, we die soon?
You know, and this is the thing with poetry, because I think everyone, when they hear this, wonders the same thing. Why do poets choose the words that they do? You know? That's something that's really cool with poetry, is every person can think about something different when they read, because no one really understands except for the person who wrote it. Mitch, you got a question? Okay.
like it sounds like when you said you die soon, like
Mhm.
they must escape and the guards might follow them and they might die or something.
Yeah.
Or get punished.
So we don't know what's going to happen when they say we die soon. Absolutely.
Is there more to tell?
Okay, so let's now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how the author wrote the poem. Okay, and I'll read it again so we can kind of see what I'm reading off here. So this is how it looks if you would look at it in a book. Okay?
That's what you
This is what you would see if you saw it in a book. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz Jew. We die soon. Okay, so you can see how when you break up a poem like this, you know, it really changes the way that you read it. I'm going to ask you to hold your comments for 1 second because I'm just going to show you the key points, okay? So think about this, and this is going to kind of be our starting point for line length and poetry. Okay, so yesterday we learned some tips that authors use, some tricks that they use to spice up their writing. Today we're going to learn some more. Spice it up, part 2, you got it. Okay, so you guys, you all have this guided note sheet in front of you, and there's a blank for where rhythm, the definition of rhythm should go in there. Ronald, would you mind reading the definition of rhythm for us?
rhythm, the beat of a poem has.
Okay, Renee, did you hear what he said? Can you say it one more time? Okay, perfect. We're just reading the definition of rhythm. Can you do that for us? The beat a poem has. Perfect. Now I need you to fill in the blank there. Thanks. Everyone should be following along on the guided note page, okay? Rhythm is the beat that a poem has. Now the next part of that is how does the author create that? Okay, Chanel, can you read the purple point there?
Line length, the tool used to create rhythm.
Absolutely. Line length. So that's what I was talking about here. Okay? The way that an author chooses, how many words an author chooses to put in a line really changes the rhythm and how we read it. Okay? So there should be a blank on our page where we're filling that one out too. Perfect. I've seen a lot of people filling that out. That's great. So how does line length help us